That's how people get bamboozled. They use certain words and then people buy into the narrative. So they use the word protest and not riot. Those have very specific definitions, and they are not the
Semantic
same.
obfuscation. That is the ideology that I feel like people are clinging to with that, talking about the substitution hypothesis, that
Right.
instead of having a God, they have the government. So what would you call that? If you wouldn't call it leftism, you wouldn't call it wokeism. How would you characterize
I would call it wokeism. I'd call so that's why it's really important. I keep seeing people frame this as left, right, conservative, liberal. It's just, it drives me insane. It's
right?
just
It's more
not.
liberty and authority.
Yeah, and people continue to say, "Oh, own the libs. Look at the no. This is not liberalism. This is literally nothing to do with the liberalism. If anything, it's anti-liberalism. So it's not that the liberals control the universities. It's the anti-liberals control the universities. The authoritarians control the universities. The ideological thugs control the universities. The pretentious charlatans control the universities. This is not liberalism.
Right. And so that actually touches on another huge aspect of, what this channel is about. I believe that there are two main things that have caused whatever other smaller issues. I believe that all comes back to either dogmatic thinking. So whether you believe in a man in the sky, or you believe that a man can transform into a female, that is not good thinking. That is not going to help us understand each other better, or anything like that. And then what I call semantic obfuscation, just taking words and using that, and not necessarily changing the definition, but bifurcating the definition, so that when you're in these conversations, you can use it in the nice way, or you can use it in the other way. And so, like, talking about, books like Genderqueer or Just the Tip or This Book is Gay as sex ed, like that is let's say abusing the language. And I think it's those two things that on both sides that people are using to try to win. And I think that the right is doing it more, or excuse me, the anti-woke side, the more liberal, the classically liberal side, maybe feels like we need to start employing these tactics because of how bad it's getting on the other side, so to speak.
Hey, can someone do me a favor in the chat? I have no idea how many people listen to this. I tried to do that, but my browser just won't pull it up. Pull up. I cannot for the life of me remember her name. I have the book upstairs somewhere.
Let's kind of back up a little bit. There was a was from Wikipedia, so we all know Wikipedia. But there's a quote from when you were on Dave Rubin's show way back in 2015. And you said the Republican Party is the most powerful anti-science political movement in the world. Would you stand by that? And so let's start there.
Yeah, I think that was I'd stand by that in the time. And I had just actually had just read a book about that, but I think that that's changed. A lot's changed since 2015. A lot has changed since then. Oh yeah, left is not woke. Susan Neiman, that's the book. Thank you. Thank you, Unwanted Foe. I really appreciate that.
The link is in the description if you'd like to.
And she gives incredible podcast.
Cool. So yeah, at the time, definitely I would agree with I would agree with you in 2015. I was a never Trumper. I was a Bernie bro. I was all about, like, Republican was a dirty word to me at the time. And much to the disappointment of my Republican father. But over having conversations throughout the years and kind of seeing, the mainstream media really does lie as much as they say they lie.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's not even that they lie. It's not even that they lie. It's just so frustrating to me. It's that and every time I say this, I know that there's at least one person out there thinking, "Oh my God, he's such an academic." But that's how people get bamboozled. They use certain words and then people buy into the narrative. So they use the word protest and not riot. Those have very specific definitions, and they're not the same.
Obfuscation.
They will use, and I've been tweeting about this. So in a mainstream media, they'll say something blah 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 when your sex was assigned at birth. So they'll just use those, and then consequently that percolates into the consciousness of the citizenry. And the next thing you know, I did a talk a while ago, and I was talking about how it was a public lecture. Oh, it was actually a private event, and I was talking about how people buy into all these notions. And someone from the audience said, "Oh, that's not true." And there was a young person there, and I said, "Do you mind if I ask questions?" And I was asking her questions, and she was just using all the terminology: assigned at birth, someone unhoused, minoritized. I have a thing on my channel about this. Woke. I translate wokish to English. So woke in plain English. But this is how people become bamboozled, because they just accept these words, and then it just starts being mainstream. So that it's not necessarily that the mainstream media, or certainly the legacy media, is intentionally out to get somebody, but it's just that the people who do the stories have been subject themselves to woke ideologues in university systems, and they get these jobs and they take the vocabulary with them.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the another issue that comes from that, and I would put that under the semantic obfuscation, because there's now two levels. There's people who are purposely obfuscating the language, and then there's the people now who are the Gen Zers now in college, getting out of college, who don't see it as that way. They just see this is what it is. When I thought we were going to be on at 1 p.m. today, 1 p.m. Eastern today, then we were watching another one of your street epistemology videos, and the question was about gay marriage. And the people were just, I don't know if you remember, it was in Romania. There was a guy in an orange kind of get up, and two other people.
I've done so many, I don't remember them, but yeah.
Yeah, I figure. And yeah, it was just, there was no getting past. There was no, and I mean, that one particularly may have been a little bit of a language barrier, but in general, I think, one of the things you say about people standing on the line that they think they're supposed to go to,
yeah,
that ties
that's
directly
important.
in.
Yeah, that's important. People formulate their beliefs. The more moral a belief is, people don't feel that they need evidence for their moral beliefs. They stand on the lines, strongly disagree, slightly disagree, neutral, etc. They stand on those lines because they think they're the lines they should be standing on, as opposed to having sufficient evidence to warrant confidence that the line that one is standing on is the line that one ought to be standing on.
Right. And so, which is, in a very similar context of the culture jamming that was just the whole idea of what is a woman, that the people who are answering in this long diatribe way, it's not that they don't know what a woman is. It's that they're trying to scramble to say what they think they're supposed to say.
They're pretending not to know things that they know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been over a year since that documentary came out, and it amazes me that they're so insulated that they haven't come up with. I've never heard a wokey person answer that in a reasonable way, and all they have to say is anybody who identifies as an adult human female.
People aren't attracted to who you think you are. People aren't attracted to. Andrew Doyle makes this point. People aren't attracted to what you think yourself to be. They're attracted to what you are. And when you think about the echo chambers, if you haven't listened to the conversation that I had with Andrew Doyle, it's really, really good. He's become a very good friend of mine. I truly like him. Watch the confrontation video at Portland State University, in which the social workers come down from the roof. I mean, it is a fascinating example of a conversation.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio, and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.